Have you ever noticed that there are days when you feel great pain, emotional pain? I believe we can trace that back to the idea that that pain is because we're not authentic. We're not being ourselves. And so much of the world today is about not being ourselves. It's about conforming. It's about fitting in. And so when we can't be authentic, oh my God, there's something within us. There's a DNA within us that says, you know, if you're not being authentic, we're going to wake you up. That's why I wrote my thought for the day, that you were born unique and you were meant to live uniquely as only you can. And every time that we forget our uniqueness, the universe finds a way to return us to our perfect self. And I think right now is that yesterday I talked considerably about the idea of being indifferent. And I believe that we've been numbed down to the point that we're not aware anymore. We're indifferent to life. We're indifferent to everything happening with us. We tolerate things that we would never have tolerated when we were awake, when we were alert. But we have been so domesticated. We've been so domesticated that we no longer will stand up for our uniqueness. We're afraid we have to fit in. Why is it that we have this need that we have to fit in? Why is it that we feel such pressure that we have to sacrifice who we are? I think the pain will continue to grow within people until they make the conscious decision that, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be me. I'm going to continue to be me. And when I'm authentic, guess what? Then I allow everyone else in my life to be authentic. But if I'm not authentic, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to try to get everyone else to conform. I'm going to try to get everyone else to believe what I believe. You hear what I'm saying? So I'm going to ask you this question. Are you trying to convince people to believe like you are? Do you have a partner that's really close, a life partner, a husband, a wife, kids, parents, and you're trying to get them to believe what you believe? And you're not allowing them to be authentic, are you? You're saying you're not capable of forming your own beliefs that serve you. Well, wait a second. How do you know what serves them? Everything I believe that happens to us is for the purpose of waking us up to be authentic. Yeah, why is it then, Anita, that we want to fit in because we don't want to stand out as being different? Because we've labeled being different as bad. Have you ever seen two babies that look exactly alike? No. Have you ever found two people that were really exactly alike? No. We weren't meant to fit in. We were meant to be unique. And what is love? Love is accepting uniqueness. That's right. Isn't that interesting? That when we say we can love someone, we're saying that we can really accept them as they are. If you're not accepting someone as they are, let me give you a clue. You are not loving them. Yeah. No, Lee, I'm doing it for their own good. No, you're not loving them. Now let's the first chapter of my book, The Power in You, is really clear about that. We have confused love and like. Love and like. Yeah, you can love someone and not like them. You can like someone and not love them. Love someone, not like them. You see, it goes both ways. There's no right way to do it. And here, let me tell you about like. Like means you have a similar frequency. Your energetic is similar to someone else's, and it's compatible. It's compatible. Acceptance has nothing to do with compatibility. Acceptance means honoring someone's uniqueness. You think Toby's hearing anything new? No. I accept him because he's a butthead. This bird he was in his perch and he was being so noisy, disruptive, that's why I brought him on my shoulder. Because what he's saying is, I want attention. I love that you said that, Anita. You can say, son, I love you, meaning I accept you in all your uniqueness, but it doesn't mean I like everything you do. It doesn't mean I like everything about you. And that doesn't make him wrong. You're not trying to get him to be likable. You're just simply saying, when you're like that, we're not vibrating the same. Here's a key thing. If you're in a relationship, what I have found is that times like with my wife or my children, and we're not a vibrational match, I just move away. I go into another room. I stop the conversation. Because if you're not in a vibrational match, why would you continue? But you see, the more you repress your authenticity, the more indifferent you are to life. And the more indifferent you are to life, you actually build a habit of thinking. And when you build that habit of thinking, you actually dig yourself into this deep, deep, deep pit. And even though you know it would be good to be somewhere, to be with someone, you won't do it. You won't take action because you believe it will do no good. It will cause nothing to change. But here's the key thing. You're not trying to get anything on the outside to change. What you're trying to do is to lift yourself up into your authenticity. That's really critical to understand. We do things to lift ourselves up. And if others like it, they may lift themselves up. But we're not doing it to lift others. We don't do anything for the purpose of others. I'm going to be very honest with you. Everything we do is what we believe is naturally the thing for us to do. And we get pleasure out of it. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. If your love language is acts of service, you're performing acts of service for others. It's not because you're doing it for them. You're doing it because acts of service is your number one love language. And it gives you great pleasure to be in service. It's real interesting when we start to get clear. Why aren't we taught this at a young age? I'll tell you why. Because if everyone was taught to be unique, what would happen to the type of society we live in right now? It would have to be radically different. We wouldn't fit the corporate image. We wouldn't fit the political image. No, we wouldn't, because we wouldn't be controlled. We would always be our unique self. What do commercials on television do? They're trying to get you to fit in by buying their product. All the drug commercials on TV, here, take this drug, this will make you feel better. Hey, take this drug, it'll make you feel better. Instead of, hey, why don't you start being your unique self? Oh, tap into infinite wisdom. Oh, meditate. Oh, think about this. Think about this. When you're not being unique, how much stress is in your life? And what does stress cause? Dis-ease. Not only mental, but physical disease. It's really interesting. All the power we need is within us. That's why I created the book. I created my book, The Power Within, the power in them, the power in you. I got it right here. In case you haven't seen it, this is it. The Power in You by Reverend Lee Wolak. Absolutely love my book. I'm having to read it because I'm putting together an audiobook. Here's a lesson I learned. If you're going to write a book, read it out loud, looking at every word, and you'll find all the grammatical mistakes, the words that are used out of context. I thought this was perfect. I'm finding a few things I would change. But you know what? I'm not beating myself up for it because it's okay. Hey, leave my hair alone. You wonder why I've got spots in my hair with no hair? It's because his birds pulled them out. He thinks I'm its mate, and so he likes to preen me. It's amazing how this is not an African gray, this is a yellow nape Amazon. And what we've learned, I've had Toby now 40 years, and he thinks I'm its mate. Anyone who comes in between us, watch out for the wrath of this bird. And yeah, he's preening me. It's not nibbling, he's preening my hair, Anita. It's what that silly guy does. Buenos dias, power metal. Love it. I love people. We've got people all over the world. We've got South Africa. We've got Egypt. We've got Buenos Aires. Buenos dias. No, that's not Buenos Aires. See, if you can't read, how are you going to do an audiobook, Lee? See, one of the things is I've learned to accept. Sometimes the wrong words come out of my mouth and I laugh at myself. I accept that that's part of me. I accept that I'm not going to say everything perfect all the time because I'm being me. I want you to know that you are not meant here to please anyone. If voting could change anything, it would be made illegal. Whoa, Richard, that's a pretty heavy quote you're putting out there. Pretty heavy quote. Hey, Kenny, let me tell you a secret. When you say good morning, the notification was late, either on Facebook or YouTube. You're on YouTube, so the notification on YouTube is late. Let me tell you how to be proactive. I start at 8 o'clock every day. So don't wait for the notification. The only day I don't start at 8 o'clock is Sunday, and I start at 7:30. Mcbride goes, well, Lee, you'll be beautifully coiffed for the day. Well, thank you. I think the bird is trying to make me pretty for you. Here's a question. I asked this question in meditation today, so I'll ask it now. Thank you. What are you going to do today where you accept yourself a little bit more? What one thing can you do today that will demonstrate self-love? Accept your authenticity more. It's a great start. And you know, we've got to start somewhere. Why not start with you? Because it's the only place you can start. So with that, I want to share with you this Saturday, I've got a Determine Your Values workshop. This is where you figure out, in the workshop with me, figure out what are the most important 3 to 5 things in your life. And once you understand your top values, all your decisions are made to support them. But almost everyone doesn't know that. So if you're interested in that, I think I have the link there in the description, or go to agapespiritualcenter.com. It's well worth the investment. I promise you will walk away with insights that you've not had before. And if you've been listening to me for a while, you know that I don't BS. I give you things as I see them because I'm not concerned whether you approve of them or not. I'm just going to give you that right now because I really don't care. What matters most is, do I approve it? And am I being authentic? And I invite you to start that same journey with yourself. Until tomorrow or the next time we meet, I want you to know I love you because I accept you. Go create your perfect day. In fact, you're already perfect. Until tomorrow, aloha.